This is one of the most pathetic displays I've ever seen in my life. The PC Master Race has kind of exposed itself as being one of the most ignorant, the lowest, the group with with the most double standards. They are the most delusional people in the gaming space. They are absolute bottom of the barrel trash. Let's see. I have my shoe here. There's some dirt on the bottom of this. That was the PC Master Race, right there. I just scraped it off. And yeah, I'm gonna clean it up later, and I'm never gonna think about it again. Right? That is what I think of the PC Master Race. They aren't even worth thinking about. I step all over them every single day as a Nintendo fan, right? And they like it. They make videos complaining about me like, "Please, Harmon, please notice me. Please step on me some more." And they won't stop because they have a humiliation fetish. They cannot they love the fact that PC gaming is inferior to consoles in every way, shape, and form. They get excited at the fact that they have to pay $3,000 to get a fraction of the games that come out on Nintendo Switch on their gaming PCs, right? These are people that that will willingly shell out $3,000 for a gaming PC, never use it for anything except watching porn, and then turn around and shill for the Steam Deck. Yes, after all that talk, all that bravado, all that like gaslighting, these guys spent years and years talking down to the console owners, calling them inferior. Like, I can do everything on the gaming PC. I don't need to buy a console. And what do? They go out and they hype up a console from Valve. Oh no, but it's not actually a console. It's a handheld gaming PC. That's completely different. Never mind. Never mind. It was just a giant cope. It always was. It was always ridiculous. It was always sad to see, right? But the thing that really gets me, now that we know for a fact that the Steam Deck and all of its direct competitors, other handheld gaming PCs, uh, all of its competitors have sold a whopping 6 million units combined. With all their powers combined, they sold less than the Nintendo Wii U. They sold less than the Nokia N-Gage. The Nokia N-Gage has more street cred than the Steam Deck. And that's crazy to think about. Like, if you look back at how people were talking about the Steam Deck when it first came out, they were telling us that, like, oh, like, Nintendo's running for the hills. They won't be able to compete with the Steam Deck's power. They're gonna all the games are coming to Steam Deck. Like, this is the most important piece of technology since the iPhone. Quote attributed to Rich Mazzetti, like of Review Tech USA. Like, that is Masucci of Review Tech USA. What is his last name? I don't know. Well, anyway, Review Tech USA said it, right? So the narrative was that the Steam Deck was stomping Nintendo Switch, that this was this hugely successful, popular thing, that it was this huge, huge success story, that Valve was going to be like the next big thing in the space. And yet, in reality, and I was saying this like even before the Steam Deck came out, like, there was no hope of it ever succeeding. And over the years since this thing came out, it became very apparent to me that the Steam Deck was a complete and abject failure. I've talked about this, several times over the years. Like, whenever the Steam Deck is in the news, recently it came out that Valve was actually faking their Steam charts list because when the Switch 2 was announced, the Steam Deck just completely tanked in sales, and so they had to like go into the sales bot and fix it, right? And I pointed out the fact that, like, if something like that is possible, right? If the sales charts can just glitch, That means that everything on Valve's bestseller list is fake. And I've been suggesting this for a long time, is that, like, looking at the numbers and looking at, like, the narrative online, like, compared to, like, other games that are way more popular than them, like, I don't think Valve's numbers are real. Like, Baldur's Gate 3 was not as popular as was reported by the media. Like, it was not some major best-selling thing. But Valve helped this illusion that it was. Valve kept up this illusion that Steam Deck was popular and successful. So now that the cat is out of the bag, now that we have, like, some legit analysts going in and, like, looking at the actual numbers and, like, releasing these shocking claims, people are backpedaling. Like, oh no, the Steam Deck was never supposed to compete with the Switch. It wasn't. It's in its own market. It's not. It's its own thing. Like, after all of that bluster, all of that coping, all of that, like, ranting and raving, attacking Harmon Smith, all of that, like, now that the entire narrative has crumbled, now that we know the Steam Deck has failed, oh no, it wasn't ever competing with the Switch. This is just a gigantic cope. The reality is Valve cannot compete in the hardware space. It gets outperformed by other pieces of hardware. They cannot compete in the software space because they can't keep up with what Nintendo and what other better, superior Japanese developers are doing. They can't. The only thing they have is a monopoly on the PC gaming sphere, which is essentially an extremely niche thing that only appeals to terminally online weirdos. Okay, like, Steam is only relevant because the online gaming community has gaslit themselves into thinking this is some major cultural thing, that Valve is based, that they're not woke at all, that they do things for the players, even though they can't even put out Half-Life 3. Like, Valve is kind of like the Nick Rekieta of online gaming stores, is that, like, people hype them up to be something great, but the reality is just, like, what have they actually done? Half-Life 2 existed only to sell people on Steam, and once they were on there, like, they didn't have to produce a sequel. It was just the carrot on the stick to keep people, like, coming back and supporting the company. Like, oh, when Half-Life 3 comes out, it's going to be great, they cried, as Nintendo fans got games like Mario Galaxy, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Sin and Punishment Star Successor, Little King Story, all this stuff that will never, ever, ever come to Steam, right? Like Half-Life 3 will be worth it, they say, as they buy yet another $3,000 gaming PC. Like, Valve will dominate the Switch, they say, as they buy another Steam Deck. It's like, the reality is, and I think this has become apparent, is that the PC master race is a vocal minority. Nobody actually thinks that PC gaming is superior. Even John Carmack, I found, believes consoles to be a better place to play games. Because, yeah, they are dedicated pieces of hardware that exist to play video games. They're more affordable, they have more options, they're easier to use. Like, the idea that, like, oh, well, you can just do whatever you want on PC it's something that's really only true for enthusiasts, right? But the idea that the enthusiast is the same thing as a hardcore gamer is a fallacy, right? I am much happier playing my games on my Nintendo Switch than I ever have been playing on my PC.